What is a secret you know about someone that could literally ruin their life? A coworker bragged at work about losing his virginity the night of his bachelor party, but his wife still doesn't know and thinks they lost their virginity to each other on their wedding night. It's a very big deal to her and would most likely end in their divorce if she ever found out. A former colleague denied vacation requests for staff so he could instead approve a request for a subpar employee that he kissed at an office party. He's on an H-1B, and if he were fired would have to go back to India, and his wife would find out what happened. He's too lazy to apply for a visa change to get off the H-1B, and is a shitty manager in general. My brother had an affair with one of my friend's mums. She used to give him a lift to work when he was 18 years old, and she started being suggestive on one drive so they pulled over, and you know what? This continued for a long time, over 6 months. She ended up getting obsessed with him, and he blocked her on all social media and his phone, and basically buried his head in the sand. Her husband is a huge skinhead scary guy that owns one of the pubs, and her son is a lifelong friend of mine. None of them know. He only told me as she, seemingly, didn't tell anyone. It's pretty weird having such a weighted secret. My friend had sex with his wife's sister long before they got married. She has no idea. I seem to be the only person who knows that I have no idea what I'm doing. Don't tell my employer. I'm in the Navy, and I know a lot of people who have cheated on their spouses. I'm sure if I spilled the beans at least a few of them would have their lives ruined. My mom told me my stepfather is not my stepsister's biological father. My stepsister has no idea. My GF grandfather has a secret family. He emigrated to my country from the US when he was younger, and kept in touch with his ex, I wanna say wife, could be girlfriend. But he is also dating a woman here, who is the mother of a very prominent political figure in my country, has a decent shot at being our next prime minister. He travels back and forth from my country to the States, to visit family and play golf, and the woman left behind has no idea. The one living in the US actually knows about the other one, but the one in my country is fairly religious, and would probably not approve. My adopted daughter's biological mother had severe mental health issues, and her drug addiction killed her. These stemmed from the fact that she knew she was the product of an incestuous rape, and it was not kept secret. I don't ever want my daughter to find out, because I'm afraid of what it could do to her psychologically. I learned from my best friend that my cousin, 40-ish had an affair with a 20-year-old girl, one of my friend's friend. My cousin is engaged, and have 3 with his fiancée. I'm from a small town. If I told someone, it would not only ruin their life, but everyone would so know. His mom is from a high-standing family in the area. It would be a disaster. Family member of mine has screwed many other family members of mine. A good friend of mine is Indian, and gay, which she knows her family won't accept. She about to have an arranged marriage to a man, who is also gay. Neither of their families know the truth, and are excited about the upcoming wedding. The groom's boyfriend is part of the wedding party. They plan to have children via IVF at some point. One of my brother's military friends sexually assaulted me while my brother, his friend, and one of my friends were hanging out playing pool and drinking. My brother knows, because I told him the night it happened. My family also knows. The dude is married, and has 3 kids. Initially my brother was furious, and talked about shooting the guy, but now they are friends again, and the reasoning he gave me was everybody cheats. Except none of it was consensual, and I'm not a piece of shit. His wife showed up in my people you may know on Facebook, and I've contemplated telling her. *Edit. Thank you everyone for your kind words and support. I posted this during an awful, sleepless night, and I wish I could take the time to respond to each and every one of you. I plan on telling the wife, and yes, my brother cheated on his partner to be with his current wife. He's also in the military, and that's how he knows the douche in question. Thank you all again, but since this has blown up so much I'm going to deactivate notifications. I will read each and every reply, and will do my best to respond. I know an older guy who claimed disability when filing for Social Security. Says he's in so much pain because of past injuries, he can't even drive. Has his girlfriend take off work and drive him to his in-person SS appointments just to keep up the charade. Has a walker just for these appointments too. In the warmer months, he takes day-long motorcycle rides with her every weekend. He's also in a band, and he stands on stage for hours for every set, maybe once or twice a month. Drives himself to the store, or an hour's drive or so away to hang out with friends. So much pain/s. The irony is, he used to be a PI, and most of his assignments were basically insurance/disability fraud, and he used to brag all the time about staking out and catching the fakers on camera. And he's just as bad, if not worse. An ex-friend that I had made her dog eat her out. I didn't know about it until she wasn't in my life anymore. Wouldn't really ruin his life, but it would be embarrassing. One of my buddies is a furry, like a massive furry. I was looking for some old Call of Duty videos me and my buddy made in like 2009. I was just searching the old gamma tags, trying to figure out where they were, and a page for a furry website popped up. It had all his basic info on it, with an up-to-date age. I looked around the page and found an IRL pic from his room that I recognized. It had like 8 years of almost daily uploads/interactions on there. Haven't told anyone, can't really. Not going to be the guy that just bullies him or tells our other friends. He's not hurting anyone, but I'm also not gonna tell him I know, cause that would be mad awkward. I'm terrified I'm gonna let it slip when I'm drunk. Edit. There are too many comments to respond to. I'll try and clear things up. 1. I don't drink often, literally had 1/2 pints in 18 months, but when I do and get drunk, I talk a lot, lose my filter a bit. Most of the time I'm just chatting shit, and people ignore me, but there's always the slight fear it might slip. 2. I'm not going to tell him I know. I understand where a few of you are coming from, but knowing my friend I think he'd rather me just not say anything. If he wanted to say something he would have, it's clearly not a new thing for him. 3. Finally, I'm not gonna blackmail him or bring it up if I'm angry. I'm not a dickhead. Thanks for all the awards, BTW. I'm not 100% sure what they all mean, but I appreciate them anyway. One of my coworkers smokes meth at work. In the last 3 months I've found probably half a dozen pipes she's left behind, because she's too fucked up to remember to hide them. About a month ago she started leaving these passive-aggressive notes, usually when the boss shows up, about how she's the only one who does her job. I showed her the folder on my phone, and told her, if she leaves another bullshit note for me to read, I'll call the boss, then I'll call the HR. I don't give a fuck about that job, but I'll be fucked before I let some tweaker get me fired. The family of a good friend, let's call her Ashley, is very religious. To the point that they only let her go to school or out with people they approved. I was the good girl who was allowed to go out with her to have fun, so I was with Ashley during her rebellious stage, in which she got into everything her family hated, got piercings, drank alcohol, dated guys. There was a video of her in a threesome that we had to delete from a guy's cell phone, and even has a couple of tattoos. The point is that she is now of legal age, and her family treats her as the exemplary girl that she never gave problems with the minors of the family. She is in a 1-year relationship with a boy from church that they approve of, and with whom she had no relationships, because they are expecting marriage. If they knew the things she did in her adolescence, they would completely disown her, She would take away all the financial stability that she has from her, since she continues to live with her parents. And all her neighbors would stop talking to her, because her father is the pastor of the church.